Good morning, everyone. Today is Friday, March 10th. It is about 8:38 a.m. Let us get started by taking a look at news for today. And switch this to today, and let's see what we have. So it looks like we had some reports come out today at 8:30, and that will be it for the day. Federal budget balance. That'll be interesting. I honestly don't know what to expect there, so I'm going to be curious to see what happens to the market when we get near 2 o'clock or after when the news release comes out. Okay, let's take a look at setting up our lines, our levels. All right. So real quick, we're doing our value area low, value area high, overnight high, and overnight low. And the value area high, value area low are for yesterday's pit session, not for the overnight trading. Let's fine tune that a little. All right, now let's just go get the overnight low. There's no way it's all the way up here. Did I miss it? There we go. Okay, and then lastly, we are going to mark off overnight VPOC. All right, that gives us all the levels that we want on our homework chart. So let's bring that over. One last thing to look at. Let's see what trading was like overnight. So here is yesterday's close. We are predominantly net long, trading up towards overnight highs, sitting right at overnight VPOC inside overnight value area. And just as a reference, we are also trading outside of yesterday's value, inside of yesterday's range, meaning we are trading outside of this yellow colored area of the volume profile. The 70% of the volume of the day is what's called the value area, and that is what's colored in yellow. These blue dots and the blue lines in the volume profile, the blue bars, that is what marks off the end of the value area on one level and the other. So we see it a little better on the overnight. It's easier to see. Value area between blue line and blue line, outside of value on the upper and lower extensions, and then ultimately you get to low of day and high of day. So currently, and looks like as we were speaking, we just made looks like to be about a 15 tick push towards overnight high. What the hell time is it? I don't think any news just came out, but so when we do our homework, we're going to take into context that we are opening inside range, outside of value. We are opening right now. We're going to assume we're opening at overnight high there. But what the hell is going on? I tell you what, I almost have to wait to do homework here with I really don't want to be doing. I mean, if we started homework a minute ago, we would have been 40 ticks away from where we're actually opening. I'm going to take a minute and draw out on the S&P. I really don't care where the price goes right now in oil, but I just don't want to plot out levels and do homework and be so far off at the open that that it didn't help us. So in the meantime, let's do this. Let's mark off our levels in the S&P. Oh, sorry, I'm marking off overnight. I was placing my levels at the overnight profile and not yesterday's profile. So sorry about that. Now let's also find our overnight high and low. Looks like we're sitting right at overnight high with the S&P as well. Gonna make it a little difficult to do the homework. Okay, let's also plot. Let's plot overnight VPOC. We don't have that on here yet. And since it's going to be overnight, we're going to make it orange. I'll try to come up with another or better color for some of these. I think what we'll do ultimately is we'll change the swing levels to another color, maybe green. So this way everything overnight is orange, and then it doesn't complicate things with the orange color. Let's go back to oil for a second, and we still need to take a look at yesterday's trading just in reference to any levels that we may have broken. And actually, there were none of them. When we started trade yesterday, oh, sorry, that's way back here. No, that's right here. So here is yesterday's open. We opened, we pushed through a couple of these levels here, but they held this resistance quite nicely. So I'm going to leave those on there for now. Push down. Really didn't have another level to test. We had some former VPOCs here that we tested. We had this naked VPOC that is no longer naked. This should be drawn out. Okay. Actually, you can see how we came back and touched it right there before the close. But all right, so we continued pushing down yesterday. Got through. What is this VPOC right here? Oh, okay. So what I did here, we have that low volume node. Okay, that's not going to work. Low volume node on the composite. And it looked too much like, it looked exactly like the VPOC does. Okay. So composite low volume node will be that whatever the hell color this was called. Plum. Sounds yummy. Okay. So we also now need to mark off yesterday's high and low. And we're going to do something new today since I was reminded to take a screenshot of the homework that we do. We're going to do something new with that. So I'm going to pull this middle level off. Make sure I get the right one here. Okay, so let's pull up. Let's just check oil where it's trading right now to see. So I'm still going to wait. What time do we have? Okay, it's getting close. It's getting close. I don't really have a choice. What I'm going to do, I'm going to pull up the pictures, screenshots that we took yesterday of the hypotheses. And we're going to take a look to see how well or poorly those hypotheses played out in yesterday's trading. I'm not going to look at BBs. I'm not going to look at anything like that. I'm just going to look at ranges and levels. Okay, let's see how well we were able to kind of gauge what the levels were that we were going to be watching for. All right, so hypothesis number one. Hypothesis number one. Remember, when we do a hypothesis, we're really just gunning for the open. But hypothesis number one was to open and trade around overnight VPOC, push up to those levels here, towards the low of the prior day, and then chop around between overnight VPOC and the low of the prior day. So low of the prior day was right in here. And what ended up happening was we traded to overnight VPOC, went right to the lower day, right back to overnight VPOC. So our first hour of trading, we should have done better than we did. We did okay. I did ultimately get a short here, a little bit late to the party, but I did get a short here, and I was able to ride that down. So that was okay. Now, I did not ride it down all the way down here. Again, I wasn't in front of the screen at that point, so I just kind of put a profit target, not to be greedy, and to close out that trade. Okay, so now, second hypothesis was trade around VPOC, and then these were the extremes we were looking to test, right? Now, remember, it doesn't matter what order we do it in. So ultimately, it was the low volume node, which is now this plumb line that we were looking for. You could see we came down there, and once we got there, we started bouncing around. Might have been some potential bad trades happening in here for me. I shouldn't say that. There probably could have been quite a few good small trades, and then ultimately, I think we would have been trapped in a loser here. I'd have to see the BBs, but I'm not. That's not the goal of this. And then I think Hypo 3, we did one for the other direction. Okay, and that ultimately we said if we break low volume node, we're going to look to test overnight low of 48.80. Let's see where low was yesterday. Looks like we got all the way down to 48.60 with overnight low was here. So, like I said, I think we'd have to see the BBs. I think we might have been trapped in one. We might have been caught in a bad trade here. We would have had a couple of small ones, potentially good ones here. But all in all, a pretty good day for just from a price movement perspective. I'm not going to say from a trading perspective. Remember, planning is one thing, executing is another. All right, let's pull up our homework chart. Now that we've made our way back into 49.87, let's start doing our homework here. So 49.87 puts us right here. If we need to actually see further up. Okay. Right here. So let's assume we open. I have to adjust the overnight high, sorry. Let's assume we open right around where we are now. Okay, right in this ballpark here. Take a look at what we got. Okay, so we would be watching for tests one more time of yesterday's high and low from the prior day. Failure. Push down towards overnight VPOC. A little bit of chop. Test yesterday's value area high. Remember, we are opening inside range but outside of value. So one of the levels that we look for as a testing point is the value area. We also have a nice little low volume node in here, so we might push through the value area a little bit and look for support here. If that holds, we're going to see if we can't frame this range for the open. This yesterday's high, these two levels here, okay, yesterday's high and low from the previous day, down to value area high from yesterday, slightly below, maybe even all the way down towards this VPOC. In fact, I'm going to change that. I do like that idea. So open, test, fail. Ultimately, this be the bottom part of the range, and we start chopping in between here. Okay. That's going to be Hypo 1. Now, again, I don't expect it to stay that way for the day, but this is what we're going to look for off the open. That's going to be one of the ranges that we're going to look for off the open. Oh, hang on. Print screen here. Okay. Let me make sure that worked. I don't think it did. Okay. Hypo 2 is going to be an open. Start by heading down, get to overnight VPOC, get to the bottom end of this range. We're going to watch for this to hold, build up some energy here. and then make a push, make its way towards yesterday's high, and ultimately try to get back up. Which, if we do, we're going to expect, if we can get above this microcomposite VPOC, we're going, actually, really, if we can get above this microcomposite VPOC, we're going to expect the move to happen fairly quickly. We have this low volume area here with a little spike, but we have a low volume area here that we're going to expect the move to happen pretty quickly. Just as it did on the way down, we have the potential of it happening on the way up. Now look at, I do not expect this type of craziness in there. You know, what I'm calling a fast move, this is above and beyond fast move. But, you know, 20, 25 ticks fairly quickly, 18 ticks fairly quickly, you know, something like that wouldn't be all that surprising. So we're going to call this Hypo 2. Hypo 2 is going to be an open, push down towards overnight VPOC, through overnight VPOC into value area high, low volume node, and former VPOC, basically the swing high that we see back here. That holds a support, and we look for an opportunity to go long. Now, hang on, switch up. We're going to do two more because there's really two more that are jumping out. So another one, again, I want to point out the order in which these moves happen is irrelevant to me. But another one that I think has the potential of happening would be a start with a move up, failure, down to one of these three levels, VPOC, value area high, sorry, overnight VPOC, yesterday's value area high, and that former VPOC. Make an attempt back up, fail, and now we're going to see if we can't come back into yesterday's VPOC, this low volume node on the chart, which did not act as support, so we don't expect the stop price. We saw it acted as support for a little while on the chart, but ultimately it was broken. And then if we can get through there, come down, test overnight low, and even potentially low of day from yesterday. So this is number 3. Let me see what time it is. Yeah, I got 5 minutes. This is perfect. Number 3, hang on, print screen. And now number 4, the last one is open. Hang on, I already drew one. I drew one that was going up. I like that one. There was one other scenario that I saw that I thought was going to be of interest to us. Hang on. Oh, open, no pullback, basically open, come right at overnight high, chop, get through it, start holding up here, and then at this point, we're going to start looking for some long opportunities to see if we can't get to this former VPOC, but I really think that if we do, I really think our move's going to come up here, and then again, we would start seeing if we don't turn back down and start looking to trade down back towards microcomposite VPOC. Yesterday's high, low from the previous day, overnight high. We have 3 things here that you know, many people are going to be watching, so we'll be curious about that. This is number 4. Print screen. All right, that'll be it now. We'll just get ready for the open. In fact, just give me a minute. All right. What we got? 3 minutes. All right. I'm just gonna take a second, real quick, to answer a question via email. Not about trading, or else I would go over it with you guys as well. Sorry about that. All right, so let's see. Let's see here. Let me pull up my one of the things I noticed yesterday was after doing the homework, I still found myself, if you remember yesterday, we had a low volume area on the, man, look at it. I'll tell you what, oil is volatile. Really wide swings here, and they seem to be happening with some pace. So sorry for breaking my train of thought, but hmm. We had a low volume area yesterday that we were talking about that we were looking to get through, and I made the mistake of trying to take a short in the middle of it as we were on our way up, which is completely against what I did in the homework. So one of the things I want to do is on one of my screens just have the homework, just have the levels. I'm sorry, the hypotheses out there up there drawn out, because it's when I see them. Uh-oh, I guess those screenshots didn't work. It took a picture of the wrong screen. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, never mind. Okay, so let's take a look here. What we do see so far is that if we were to come back to overnight high right now, it looks like we would have negative divergence. We'll wait to make sure that that is validated at the open if we do make a push up there.
Hey, Eddie.
Good morning, Billy.
Sorry I'm on so late.
Oh,
People
that's
want
all
to
right.
drive super slow and create traffic because it's flurrying.
Yep, exactly.
I was listening to you in the car though, so I kind of get the gist of everything. I didn't see what you drew for the hypotheses,
Yeah, and
and
unfortunately,
I just saw the screenshot.
that kind of sucks. I don't know why. All right, so here we go. So here's the open. We have a really tiny potential head and shoulders up here. Didn't really get much of a pullback in there. This first shoulder would be a little short, but let's see. Okay, so just came down to test overnight value area high. But really what we're watching for is going to be a test of this range here on the downside, the overnight VPOC, yesterday's value area high, this former VPOC. So we're gonna wait to see if we can't get down towards there before starting to try to take any long trades. Only a week ago when we would be trading, my screen would look like this. I only needed so much information on the screen. So from the top price, which is right now 50.15, to the bottom price was about 50 ticks. Now, in order for me to get all the information I need on my screen, I need 50.16 to 40.40, 76 ticks, and I'm actually still not getting all the information. I know that there's more behind us that or further to the left that I probably would want to use. So we did get, just to show you here, no, I didn't make a trade on it. It happened way too quickly. We did get a push back up into this consolidation right before the open, as what I was saying might be a potential head and shoulder setup, but not something that we were able to trade. But we are going to add this level of consolidation. We're going to add this level of consolidation and this swing here into our ideologies if we come back up here and we see some negative divergence on the BBs, we're going to add those levels in there as a potential trading opportunity. Just going to adjust my S&P overnight high. Really nothing for me to do here, and this is the mistake I made yesterday as an example. So remember, in today's homework, we talked about looking to see if we can't come test overnight high, these three levels here, and then if they fail, then we're going to expect to come down and test at least overnight VPOC and all the way down potentially to this former VPOC. So through yesterday's value area high down to this former VPOC. There's no reason for me to try to get a long trade until we come close to these levels. And if I really wanted to, I could scale from here to here. It's an awfully large scale. You're talking about 25 ticks. So I would not do that. I would look for my setup somewhere in here and kind of have to adjust on how we trade it based on the setup itself. So I can't even tell you yet how we would handle it. But I don't. Other than that, so yesterday, what the mistake I made was we had that low volume area. I really want to go back and show it to you. So I'll try to do that when we slow down. But so far this morning, it's just been just a straight push down. You had a real quick spike up here. So we had the opening push down. That took 20 seconds, and then the next spike up, it took another 16, and then that was it. Then we just started pushing down. And here again, there goes some pretty rapid volatility. This is what I remember oil trading like, going back a few years ago when I first started watching. I remembered the size on the bid and the offers. I remember them being around where they are now, 50s and 60s and 40s. Recently we have been seeing them get almost every one of them were almost at nearly 100 contracts. So that's why a lot of times you guys will hear me talk about that. My goal in oil is to get to 20 contracts because I remember this type of liquidity. Recently, though, there are times where I look at it and say, well, shit, I could easily get 40 contracts because these levels were thicker. There was much more contracts. But that was due to the less volatility. So, 20 contracts definitely is probably more realistic if oil continues to trade as volatile as it has been. Then that's what we would look for, and we can always adjust that. You can adjust that based on previous day's trading, and that's something that's if you kind of have reasons to believe that you're gonna have a choppier day or more a day where there's more consolidation than anything else. And in those days, you'll see these levels build up. You can adjust that.
Can I ask something pretty quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Not too large. Why is it in oil the highest?
Ooh.
Oh wow. When we're looking at the S&P, that's always at least 200 at the minimum. Sometimes you go over here and it's 300, 400. How come oil compared to the S&P it's so much different? Is it just because more people trade the S&P?
That's it. And actually, this is pre-market. S&P doesn't open
till
9:30.
Yeah.
Come 9:30, these are all going to be 1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why the S&P. That's why it's on my screen. I really want to get good at trading oil first and foremost because it gives me the extra half hour of trading. It gives me the opportunity to trade from 9 to 9:30. But the S&P is the instrument that ultimately I would love to focus on. So because just how much I can scale in the S&P, how large I can get my trading size in the S&P makes the potential dollars and cents so huge. I want to add this too. And once I'm comfortable with oil and comfortable with the S&P, I intend to start watching bonds as well. Because they even trade more than the S&P. At least I think they do. I haven't looked at that for a while. They used to, but I haven't looked at it for a while to say for sure. So we can see what happened here. We've made our way down. Definite downtrend right now. So we're going to be very careful looking to take any long trades. But we're down to where we said we want to start watching for a long opportunity. I'd like to see this push down even further before setting up for a decent long. But we did see, while I was yammering away, we did see a push back up here into earlier consolidation. This could have been looked at as a trade opportunity. I wasn't looking for a trade at the time. I was really focused on the idea of let's wait till it gets down to where I want it to go. But this certainly could have been. You have this swing back here. You have a couple of overlapping candles here. 1, 2, 3, 4. as consolidation. You could have taken a trade on in here if you wanted to. Really, what I'd love to see now, I'd love to see another push down. I really want us to get at least to yesterday's value area high. Even better would be down towards this former VPOC, but it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard for me to want to take a long trade right here because there's so much room in this range. I'd be a little hesitant to use this as a long. It would have to be a very nice setup on the BBs to take a long here. Haven't even not at all paid attention to order flow yet because we have not yet gotten into an area that I'm interested in trading in. We could watch now for a pullback up towards middle of day VWAP in this prior consolidation here. You know, somewhere in this area, we could watch for a pullback there for a potential short. Even that's a little bit tricky because we did get down to the range that which we were talking about. We might see us turn back around. So we did actually get down there. We didn't get as far down as I would like, but it is certainly possible that this will be the bottom of this move. And now we're going to start seeing if we can't test back up towards overnight high, at least current opening of the day. And then if above that, we go back to what we were talking about with the homework levels. But I am watching this. I am stalking this for a short. So that right there, this here 69. Those sellers, okay, they just left. They're back. Those sellers, they keep going down to 0 and coming back in there at 69. $68 as well. They keep holding this down here. Low of day is 59. It's not far enough away for me to take a trade here. I'm sorry, guys. Let me just see. Not far enough away for me to take a short, though. But I do think that might be that seems to be building as an area where buyers are having trouble getting it above and sellers are defending their ground here. That's 68, 69. But I won't take a short. Won't take a short. It's too close to low of day. I'd really rather see buyers push through this. No, that's good. That's good. Buyers just came in 79 now. I'm 69. Sorry. There you go. So what's happening is as this is coming up, we're a little bit in no man's land. So we have to be careful here because as this comes up, the further up this moves, the more it will appear as if we're going to have divergence in the BBs if we turn back down. So which means we wouldn't expect to break low. So that means we need to have quite a bit more than a 10 tick range from current low to where we would want to get into our trade if we're looking at a short, because it's certainly understandable that we can do this and then turn down and not make it to low, and we want to have enough profit to be able to get out of our trade at that point. So so we really do need to see this pull back a little bit further before we can start watching for a short. And on the flip side, while it does that, we have to be very careful that we're not actually seeing the move back up like we had talked about in the homework. Which, man, I wish I should have tested those screenshots before I did that. Ultimately, remember, we're talking about from the homework. We're talking about being able to get back above these 3 levels or at least having these three levels be the top side of the range early in the day. All right, so no negative divergence. I'm sorry, no positive divergence. We have some on the 610, but none on the 987, none on the 1597. So still nothing to tell us that we're going to be holding this low. It looks like we're going to be pushing through this low here. Excuse me. So just kind of got to hang out and see see what develops here. Definitely looks like we're going to look to push down. Okay. Coming towards this value area low and this VPOC. These are the two that we were looking at as the extremes of the range potentially for this move. If those don't hold, if we see continued pressure to the downside, then we started talking about getting into yesterday's VPOC. But what we're going to watch for, so we just had a hold here again, an overnight VPOC with divergence on the 610, but nothing on the 987 or the 1597. If you remember yesterday, this is exactly what started happening. We would break lows by a couple ticks, come away, break lows by a couple ticks, and we just kept doing that until finally there was a larger move down. And we're in the same idea now. Lows 57, so I don't want to get in. I don't want to get in too close to that. That was actually a nice little spike there. Probably should have. I should have been looking to get short there. Got to be real careful though, because now the BBs on the 987, again the 610 are definitely pointing up. The 987 are not, but they easily could turn into positive divergence. They've leveled off, but still, that was a nice little spike. Missed that one. Okay, so we're testing lower again. Let's see if we break it by a couple ticks and come back up. At this point, overnight VPOC is still holding as support. We ticked through it a couple times, but really this is still holding as support. We need to get through it, trade below it, test it, and then have it hold. And that will be a nice idea there that it's now become resistance. But we would not be looking to go short there yet. Because remember, we are well, I shouldn't say that. We might be willing to go short there because we're expecting the move to make its way all the way down to this VPOC here. See this two low volume nodes here. In this spike back up, one of the reasons that I was talking about, I really should have tried to grab this. In the spike back up, you went right to these low volume nodes. So it was a nice opportunity to try to get short there. Grab 10 ticks and hold on to a runner. Okay. Matching overnight low. Still no, only positive divergence on the 610. Buyers stepping in there. We have what, 12, 11 and a half minutes till equities open. See buyers defending this right now. I really don't think this is going to hold, only because it's just, well, close enough to overnight VPOC, but I really would think that this is going to at least make a move towards yesterday's value area high. But the 610 BBs are showing positive divergence. Everything else showing negative. Let's get the cursor out of the way. Big offer just came in there. Now he's gone. There he's back. See, that's all bullshit. It's happening away from the current price. It was happening above the current ask. And then it was so come in, disappear, come in, disappear. That's all bullshit. Just really doing nothing here at the near low of day. We're giving the BBs, the 987, a chance to kind of flatten out, maybe roll up a little bit. But if we were to make a move through lower day, we would not have any positive divergence to speak of. Now how that can change would be if we get a push up and we start consolidating, then come back down. You could at that point see positive divergence on the 987, and then you'd have positive divergence on 2 of the 3. And again, I really don't. I'm not that interested in getting long here because the range at which I would have to take risk. I would at least need to be above value area high. Okay, that one works. But I really want to be above this former VPOC, and that's quite a ways away. So I'm still much more interested in trying to get a decent short opportunity. But the longer we consolidate here, and the more these BBs turn up, if we come up, the less interested I am in a short, because at that point, again, we would be potentially setting up positive divergence. And even though I'm not looking to go long down here, that doesn't mean it's not going to move up. So I would have some conflicting information there. So I really, what I'd rather see right now, I'd rather see my push down. I don't mind not being in it, but I'd rather see a push down and then kind of start reevaluating at that point.
It seems like we're consolidating a lot, and the BBs aren't really moving all that much. Is there anything you can really do right now in terms of trying to make a trade?
No, and that is the only thing you could do right now is avoid trading, because that's the mistake. The mistake is shit. We've been so volatile. I know we're gonna make a big move. I need to be in that trade. The best thing you could do is do nothing. I missed this one. This spike up actually was more. This one to me was more obvious than this one. I don't know if I was in the middle of talking about something or what, but I just missed it. The other than that, honestly, for me right now, there's I still think it's going to go down, but I don't want to take a trade here because it would have to break low of day by quite a bit in order for it to get my 10th. All right, so now we're getting towards closer to where I'd like this to ultimately finish, and if it's going to set up for a long trade, I mean that okay, that happened fairly quickly. Now, there's two things that we can watch for here. So because there's such a wide range between overnight VPOC and this VPOC here, this is down to 36, this is up at 60, I have no problem with taking short trades here now. Okay, we have all this consolidation had built up. We're obviously pushing down. I would be willing to take a short trade to see a retest or test further down at this VPOC. The flip side of this would be I'd also be willing to take a long trade if we get positive divergence. Now I'm okay with trying to take a trade here because my stop is going to be fairly close to this VPOC here, and if I'm wrong, I believe it's going down to here. So I wouldn't put a stop in the middle of this. My stop would be very close to here, so I might be able to get into a trade with a potentially very low risk if it sets up that way. So right now, these are the two extremes of the current range that we're going to watch: the 60 and 36. So I'm actually, because I don't want to miss this if it happens, I'm putting in a sell here at 49.59, and I'd be really looking to be above 674 for my stop. So. $72 to 15. Okay, good. So what I'm looking for with these two orders is if we can get a quick push back up without there being any real clear positive divergence yet. I'm looking for us to push up, come back down to test towards low of day, maybe even get to this VPOC, and then see if that holds and potentially reverse our trade and end up going long. But got to get up here first. I don't want to chase the price down. So you could see that every time we're trading the offer there, oh, come on, don't miss me by a tick. I want to be in this trade. All right. Okay, so 58. Currently, we have turned positive on the 987. 1597 is flattened out. So there's a chance now if we were to turn back down now and we get to the current low of day, I don't believe we'd have positive divergence on the 987. We might still on the 610. That's if we were to turn back down now. If we continue to drift up, then I think we would certainly then create a scenario where we would have positive divergence, and I would put an order in. So for now, I'm not putting in a 10-tick profit target because the BBs may, if we start moving down, the BBs may ultimately lose their positive divergence on the 987 as we get towards lower day. So what I will do is I am just going to put an order out here so I have one. Oh, let me do it this way. Okay, so this was 49.65. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of that for a second. Just put this order out here so I have it. And put that back. Okay. So I am still willing to scale into this trade. And again, if I have to move this order down, I would like to be scaled in. If we're going to get close to it, I really want my scale. If I do get scaled into 2 contracts, then I certainly would have one profit target at 10 ticks, and then the other one will be my runner. But for now, all I'm watching is as we turn down, if we turn down, what's going to happen to these BBs. And at this point, I am paying attention to order flow, so I'll zoom in a little bit. And again, what we're watching for is as we trade the bid. Right now, we're trading the offer. All right, so there you go. That happened too fast for me to describe anything. As we trade the bid, I want to see these yellow numbers go down along with the numbers with the green background. And then I don't want those numbers with the green background to refresh themselves. On the flip side, as we trade the offer, which I really just don't want to trade the offer, but when we trade the offer, I want to see what just happened here. We trade the offer, it goes to 0, but then more offers step in. So it looks like what just happened right there. But again, this is very microscopic. It's not something we're going to be using. Equities open is in 20. I can't believe it's only been a half hour. With all the movement we've had this morning, I feel like I've been trading for half a day. Okay, so what I'm looking at is I'm going to look to see how my BBs adjust if we start heading down. Okay, so that 987 really is now is showing some positive divergence. So I do not want to add on to this trade. Tell you the truth, at this point I'm okay putting my stop at break even. I'm not crazy about how this is setting up here. So if I get a quick flush down, I'll take my profit. If I don't, then I will close my trade. Oh, I'll come a little further off. The reason I'm doing this is we've now created a higher low. So if we continue to push down, then it will no longer look like a higher low. But if we come and we break above and we get through my current break-even stop price, it would look like we've created a higher low and are now pushing up towards an uptrend. So I'm watching this now for one of two things. I really do want to slide this away. I'm watching this for one of two things. And like I said, if we get a little push here, I think I'm just going to be happy taking some profit here. But I'm also then watching. The thing is, this can move so quickly that it will get rid of this positive divergence. We've seen that happen, but I think I'm going to play it safe here. I think I'm going to take my profit target. I'm actually going to take it right now. Take my 10, 11 ticks, whatever I got there, and I'm watching now for a long opportunity because we have positive divergence on the 610 and the 987. And I'm getting really close to pulling the trigger on that. So I'm going to take one here. All right. Okay, I'm about to say I know I would be filled on that in real trading. Now, what I have to be very careful of is if we push down quickly, we will lose our positive divergence on the 987. At least it looks like we will. and this is where I'm taking my second one. Okay. Now, the reason for this is now I can have my fairly tight stop on a 2-contract trade. All right, so I'm not risking my maximum $300. I would actually be willing one more time, depending on how this sets up, I would be willing to scale in one more time. And we're going to put a 10-tick profit target out there for sure. Before I do that, hang on. I'm going to take one right here. Oh, I was trying to move my stop away. God darn it. Gosh darn it. I wanted to come down a little bit further. All right, so it looks like I still have one on. I'm actually going to take those back. It's not really costing me anything. Okay. What do we have? We have positive divergence coming down to test this VPOC. We're now in 3 contracts, which gives us a 10-tick stop loss. And that's going to take a minute here. So ultimately, you know, that first short that whoa. All right, so we are really pushing down here, so we need to sit tight. You can see we've lost our positive. That's what I was saying when we were in that short, that if we push real quick, and we don't know that that's going to happen, we can lose our positive divergence. Okay, no problem. Now remember, we're saying that if we're still looking at this level to hold. We're still looking to see if this this VPOC, former VPOC, will hold. But if we do not, now our expectation is to come down and test yesterday's VPOC. See, we came real close to yesterday's close of day. Still, actually, I still think we might be seeing the end of this move down here. But right now, there's not enough to make us want to even take a shot at a long. Well, I guess one good news is that the price of gas should go down soon. Usually the price of oil moves and then gas responds to it, you know, I don't remember like how far later, weeks or months later. So we're consolidating out here. Looks like it made that flush and then bounce. This is really what we were looking for, only I wasn't looking for it to push this far down through here. I really would have expected that if it came this far down, that it was going to finish its move. towards yesterday's VPOC. Now again, we're starting to see a real nice turn up in the BBs. Even the 1597 has started rolling up now. So we're almost 20 ticks up from the low, meaning if we wanted to, not that I have a reason to yet, if we wanted to, we could start watching for short trades, but I would like to see this come up higher before even considering any type of short there. Coming right up to today's value area low. And again, remember I've said I don't usually use the first hour of trading's volume profile, but volume has been so high recently that they start to matter more. Basically, the more volume you have in a profile, the more the more accurate the information should be. I have no idea if this is real. This 344 bids. So I am absolutely watching for a long right now. Well, apparently those were not. Oh, those were real. Look at that huge sell order. Right. I'm going to take a long here. And again, I'm going to be willing to scale. Positive divergence on the 610. Positive divergence on the 987. We're right back to this VPOC that we were looking to hold. You can see here we have a low, a high, lower high. Sorry, low, high, higher low, higher high. I'd really like to see this stay above here. I'd like to see us stay with a higher low here. But you can see we consolidated back here right at that former VPOC, which is now today's VPOC. We consolidated back there before adding another area of potential importance. We've come to a low. We've traded away from it. You know, we did trade through the level that we were expecting to hold, but not to the point. You know, we haven't yet gotten all the way down here. So what I'm looking at now is with the positive divergence on the BBs, with what looks to be some momentum on the BBs, I'm looking for this to now push back up and start getting into. Actually, we'll probably look for about here. You know, I got to tell you, if I'm only going to be in one of these, I'm going to make this the if this plays out the way we drew out our homework, what we were talking about was potentially down here being the low of one of our ranges, and overnight high, yesterday's high and the previous day's lows being the top. of that range, which is where I put my profit target right now. Because I am going to have to step away in just a few minutes, what I will probably end up doing is, let me do it, let me think, what's a good way to do this? I think if I get rid of this one, I don't want to move this one away and potentially lose the trade. So what we'll do is we'll get rid of this one. Okay, that should work. Okay. Okay, so oh Jesus. So we still have positive divergence. So this is the idea of catching a falling knife, but I have to tell you, we're really, man, I keep getting stopped out of the worst possible spot. These are moving so fast, I don't even have a chance to move my stop price. Real nice positive divergence coming to where we're really expecting, this overnight low, former VPOC, really expecting this to be where we hold. And I didn't have my chance to move my stop where I wanted it to go. Man. I think I might change where it places my stop so I have more room to adjust it. Yeah, I will do that actually. Now, you remember the other day I told you the days that are worst for me are days that we just go in one direction because I do look for opportunities to reverse that direction. And when they don't happen, obviously those are the worst. So we did get a nice trade earlier today with the trend, but this actually I should still be in, but that's okay. Listen, I'm not, and that's part of it. Having to get used to and adapting to this style of volatile trading. I don't want to say, well, I should still be in this trade, so it's a good one. No, the reading of the chart. Give me a second, so I'm not getting this wrong. So let me see here. Bye bye bye. Oh, there we go. Okay. Right. So our stop really. I think we would have stopped that either way. So never mind. Regardless. Here again, we have our positive divergence. Positive divergence getting near a level that matters. I'm taking one. That was just a trade off the level with positive divergence. All right, closing this here. I'm going to look for more. I'm actually watching the order flow right now. I'm willing to get back into that trade, even if it means I'm up here, because remember I'm really entered from down here, booked the profit. I can get back into that trade and put my stop exactly where I had it before and still have the same amount of risk on. And I'm going to do that. That might have. Yeah, it's okay. Again, right now I am really paying close attention to this order flow because we are at that point again that we are either going to create a lower high and turn back down into a downtrend, or if we can get above it, have the idea that we're going to now start pushing upwards into at least a short-term uptrend. But I really need to watch the order flow here. There we go. Oh shit! I don't want us to stop there. That would not. I just don't like it to stop right at that previous swing high. Okay, right there. Just did it again. I see buyers stepping in, but it seems like the sellers are right there waiting for them. This is the spot. This is the level that buyers need to push through. There we go. There we go. Okay, so what we're looking at here, we're looking at seeing if we pull back, if we can create a higher low. Let's say we do pull. I mean, I'd love for this to be the end of the pullback, but if we pull back and we stop that pullback right around here, we've now created an inverse head and shoulders. Oh, sorry. If we get a pullback further, we create an inverse head and shoulders. We currently have an inverse head and shoulders, which and actually right now is a good one, but because this shoulder didn't even come back very far. But once again, right now I'm all about order flow here because the next level that matters to us from the homework is here. We got VWAP ahead of that, so we need to get above this swing high to continue looking like we're trying to get back into a bit of an uptrend, a bit of a retracement or correction. Fake bids down there. That 149 contract is fake. He keeps showing. There you go. So he shows up, disappears. So he's not doing anybody any favors by doing that. At least he's not doing me any favors. I think that's more of a weak sign than a strong sign. So we saw a big sell go off there. I am considering closing my trade here. Again, I'm just watching this order flow. Buyers are stepping in here, but sellers are doing the same. You know, we're in another one of those stalemates. Let's see here. Let's see if 21 EMA can hold. Remember, right now we're still watching this as low. Here was a high, higher low, higher high, higher low. If we can stay above here and then make our push up, I'm still happy with this. Oh, I just realized what time it was. Okay, shoot. That was a big offer that just came in at the actual price when it got there. So that was a big sell. Okay, so while this has slowed down, I'm going to put my profit target in. I already have my stop loss in there, and I am going to have to go. So we'll go but right back to what I was saying before. Maybe it'll be easier if I pull in the homework chart. Yeah. Okay, so here is the current bar we're trading in. Remember what we had talked about was we were looking to see if we ultimately push down into here, which we did, and the other side of this was up here. So we're going to use today's open and the swing beneath it, which is at 49.90. I'm going to front run that a little bit. That's going to be my profit target. Sorry, didn't go in. So right now what we're looking at, and I don't know that this will be the case, but what we're looking at is, did we exhaust our move to the downside? Did we get back to yesterday's VPOC? We've now tested down here. Now can we turn back up and go and see if we can complete, or I should say continue the move from yesterday? We came into the close up, big gap up today. I'm sorry. We opened up very positive, not gapped. We weren't above yesterday's high. And now ultimately we're going to see if we're right, if this was the bottom of the move down, if this will be the area that holds to the downside, then this is where we expect to come to test to the upside, unless, of course, we just fall back into a trending day. Only because I'm not in front of the screen and I put in my profit target there. I can't tell you that I actually believe it will or it won't go there, but it'll just be nice to leave that out. This down here is my risk at this point. I'm comfortable with saying that if we get below this VPOC, look, if I was in front of the screen, I might treat this a little bit differently. I'd have to see what the BBs look like when we get down there and all that other fun stuff. But for this will be a good frame for risk to reward on this particular trade. All right, guys. So for now, I'm going to bid you a good day, and we'll see. Maybe I'll have a chance to jump on this weekend, and we can look at stuff and answer some questions.